more like is, a comfort show of mine, and it was my favourite since I was a kid. Like, I'm not even joking with you, I genuinely think it altered my brain chemistry. Like, you could say any line from this show and I will finish the quote. I am not joking. Since I have a very deep love for this show, I thought it'd be fun to put the main SpongeBob characters into a tier list. Obviously based on how much I like them. So I'll keep this video short and sweet, and I'll only do the main cast, being SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Sandy, Plankton, Mr. Krabs, and Gary. So let's get straight into it, shall we? We'll start off with the one, the only, Mr. Eugene Krabs. Like, I'm gonna keep it real, I'm gonna keep gangster, I'm gonna straight up put him in the F tier. Like, outside of work, he could be a C+ character, but inside of work he is flat out in the F tier. He is genuinely the worst boss ever. Like, I am not joking when I say this. I would rather die than work for him. That is how bad he is. Like, as a kid, I found it fucking hilarious. But now, as someone who works and who has worked in the fast food environment, having a boss like Mr. Krabs, it would just make the whole experience 10 times worse. Like, it's terrible. Like, he is so cheap, it genuinely drives me crazy. Like, I can't even think of an example of how cheap he actually is. Like, I had a cheap boss once and it just made life so much harder for us as workers. But like, Mr. Krabs, it's amped up to like 1 million. Like, no. Like, mans wouldn't even let 1 cent go, you know? Just no. F tier. But like, besides that, like, as a kid, I loved him. I saw him as like a fatherly figure, but like, just now as an adult who has worked, and it's just like, I can't see past like the cheapness and just how he treats his employees. I just can't see past it, so F tier. Next up, we have Mr. Krabs' nemesis, Sheldon Plankton. I just love how he's called Sheldon. He is being put in the E tier. He is such a dickhead. Like, genuinely, he's just such a dickhead. He treats his wife like shit. It's actually terrible. Like, I'm watching Spongebob again just as a comfort thing, just while I eat. Like, I'm on season 13, which is the last season. Sheldon Plankton is the worst. He treats his wife Karen like shit, who I love. She's such a queen. Like, he really does have small man syndrome. Like, oh my god, like, it's just, he's a good villain, but like, he's just a terrible person. And he does have one funny line that was just like a running gag throughout the whole show, whole 13th season, which is like, you know, good on the writers for remembering all this shit. He constantly brings up the fact that he went to college. It's like, no, you can't treat me like this. I went to college. Like, I love it so much. But yeah, he's in the E tier because he's just a shit husband and all that stuff, so sorry. Next up, we have the one, the only, the girl boss, Sandy Cheeks. She is being put in the B tier. She is fucking great. I love her so much. Like, she's a genius. She's a woman in STEM. She's in the B tier because her competitive side in the later season actually kind of scares me. Like, I saw one episode and I'm like, oh my god, this girl, calm down. Like, I am super competitive, but like, the way she does it, it's just fucking scary. Like, but I do love her though. Like, she's such a nice person. She's such a good friend. She'd do anything for SpongeBob and stuff, and it's just really sweet. But like, I think her competitive side just brought her down to the B tier because it's actually terrifying. Coming up next, we have one of my favorite characters in this whole show. I love him to pieces. I think he's a fan favorite, at least if he's not, he should be. We have Gary the Snail. He is easily my favorite character in this whole show. He is just such an unproblematic king. We should all be like Gary. He's so wholesome that I would die for him. Like, he's just consistent throughout the whole show, and I love that one episode where Spongebob goes into everyone's dreams, and he goes into Gary's dream, and he's just super tall, and he's a genius. Like, Gary is a genius. And that is consistent throughout the whole show. It's clear that Gary's a fucking genius, but that dream episode will just never not be funny. Because just how he looks, I'll put a picture for those who don't know. It's amazing. Love it. I can't remember if I rated Gary or not, but he is just definitely an S tier character. Like, there's just no doubt about it. Next up, we have Squidward Tentacles. I'm gonna put Squidward in the A tier, and here's why. Man is just trying to live his life and get recognition for his talent. That's all he wants. Is really so hard to ask for. Aren't we all just trying to live life and go? Are we all just trying to live life and get recognized for our talents and what we're good at? But he is a terrible person at times. Like, I've seen episodes where I genuinely got mad at him. I got mad at a cartoon squid for how much of a bad person he was. Like, I just can't let it slide. It's just one of those things. It's just no. But overall, now that I'm an adult, like, I am nearly 21. I'm 21 in like 2 months, which is like scary to think about. But I relate so hard. It's weird how as kids we saw Squidward as such a buzzkill, and we like hated him because, like, oh my god, he's so mean to SpongeBob and Patrick or whatever. But now as an adult, I'm like, wow, I truly am him, aren't I? Like, think about it. If you had annoying neighbours that wouldn't leave you the fuck alone while you're just trying to go through your day, go through your life, whatever, you'd be pretty pissed off too. Yeah, he's in the A tier. We move. I said what I said, and I am not taking it back. I think we're all Squidward.
He's Squidward, he's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward!
Next up, we have Patrick Star. I'm going to put Mr. Patrick Star in the E tier, and this may come as a shock to a lot of people. Early seasons Patrick is great. He's just a bit dumb. He's there for comedic relief, you know? We have characters that are like that. It's common in TV shows and movies and stuff that a character is just there for comic relief, you know? It's how it is. In later seasons, however, he is painfully dumb. Like, I don't think it's funny anymore. He's just aggravatingly dumb. It's literally the Cat Valentine effect is what I'm calling it. A character starts off just a little bit dumb, a little bit like, you know, not there, but then as the show progresses they just get worse and worse, and it's just annoying. But yeah, he's just painfully dumb in the later seasons, so because of that he's in the E tier, and it pains me to do it, but you know, has to be done. It's just, it's unfortunate. Last up, we have the main man himself. We have SpongeBob SquarePants, and he is going in the C tier. He suffered the same fate as Patrick, unfortunately, but not to the same extent, thank God. But it's still there, and it's still a bit noticeable, especially if you've watched all 13 seasons in a row like I have. Because of that, he is kind of mid now, and it's a little upsetting, but it's just how it is. But we still love him all the same. He's our main man. He's the symbol of a lot of our childhoods. It's just weird, man. It's just fucking weird. So there we have it. That is my ranking of the SpongeBob main cast. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys have any differing opinions. Let me know if you guys watched SpongeBob as a kid, or were you just one of those kids that weren't allowed to watch SpongeBob? Because believe me, I can tell. We can all tell. I don't understand why people weren't allowed to watch this show as a kid. Like, why? It's just a silly little sponge doing silly little things. You just can't get a driver's license. What's wrong with that? I believe SpongeBob altered our brain chemistry as a whole. A whole generation had its brain chemistry altered because it's very specific humor, and I love it. It's just my humor. Also, drop your favorite episode in the comments if you're a big fan like me. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this kind of content, and if you're new here and you like my vibe, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button to be notified when I decide to grace the internet with my presence again. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. My name will be right here, and I will see you guys really soon in the next video. Bye. Is the pizza for you and me? I'm trying to think of like my favorite quotes. Is mayonnaise an instrument? I'm gonna stop before I embarrass myself further.